Hello.
Hello. Welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 164.
Yep.
I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
And I'm Leslie, also known as You Won't Call Me Les. And today is June 30th.
Yep.
2013, last day of June. Last day to get your sweaters into the sweater cow thread.
That's very true. If you're in the Harry Potter house cup, it's the last day to enter stuff in there as well.
We will actually... Sorry, that's my dog. We will draw for a winner for the sweater prize next week because we want to give you guys the full up until midnight. And wow, y'all have knitted some amazing sweaters.
There's so many pretty things.
There's like 200 sweaters in there almost.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. See, I don't count.
Well,
that's really fun.
You just count the number of posts. Oh goody, the dog. Anyway, so yes, if you have knitted a sweater started after May 1st, finished by tonight, you can post it in our Sweater Cow thread and have a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to your favorite online yarn shop.
Yay!
So we'll save the rest of the chatter, non-knitting related chatter till the end. Works in progress.
I have knit a whole row, a whole round, because it's circular, on my Sweet Tomato heel socks. So this was a different cast on for me. It's I actually cast on using Judy's Magic Cast On, but the increase and the toe design is different than I've done before, and this was something that Kat Bordy taught us in the class that we took. And the yarn I brought up, look, I brought out the ball, I'm so prepared, is a Chopol Vol
Ambiente.
And this is color number, 1860 Magic. I'm totally going with that.
Sorry, apparently my significant other has gone outside without the dog. This is called
despair.
For much sadness. I'm really
sorry.
sorry.
He's so sad.
He is very upset. Anyhow, so what aside from that?
And then I also have on the needles, which did not get here this week, the Inspiration Dye Work socks, the arch-shaped socks, which look so crazy when they're not on a real person, but they fit very well. This is Inspiration Dye Works. And see, he's inside. I just heard Michael in the caution stripe colorway. And the second one is on my Carbons size 1 needles. Both of these are on ones.
Knit on those at all this week?
Nope. I already said that.
Oh.
So these have not gotten any love this week, but they are still kind of in this area of I didn't put them up, so they were still here from when we recorded last week. But I do have some finished objects that I'll show. So, your turn.
Aside from my dog, who is very upset about something. Who knows what. I really only have one thing that I've knit on this week, and I haven't really knit a ton this week. I kind of lost my mojo for a while, and I still am not like knitting rah, you know, but I just felt like I wanted to get something done. So anyway, this is my good ale. I am going to smother him.
No, you won't. You'll think about it, but you won't actually do it.
This is my good ale.
Do you need a hand?
Nah, it's still on the needle, so. And
by Cecily
Glauert McDonald. I'm knitting it in Elizabeth Lavold
Silky
Wool and a colorway that is purple. I don't know where the tag is. It would just be a number anyway. It's kind of a grapish purple, and I'm about 4.5 inches from the arm holes, and the pattern only says you do increases every 8 rows, and you do that 6 times, and then you do an inch of ribbing, and it's only supposed to be 8 inches from your armpit, and for me that would barely go past my boobs, so I think I'm going to go a little longer. I've got 2 more full skeins, and I want to make the arms maybe half.
So that's probably a skein there.
Yeah, a skein for the 2 arms together. And I just joined the other ball, the other cake. So I'll probably knit with it until I'm done with that, and then I'll split the last ball in two and just go.
And is there a button band at all?
No, the way that this one works, and it's actually pretty cute. It's got this I-cord here on the edges, and once you're done, you just kind of flip it over and tack it down.
Cute.
And that creates the pockets at the bottom.
Very cute.
So it's not meant to be like a super professional sweater, but it is supposed to be somewhat cropped, and so I will do mine somewhat cropped. But I just wanted a real light sweater to wear to SSK, because if you didn't go last year, it's really hot in Nashville in the summer. Really, last year we broke heat records.
Luckily there's air conditioning.
Oh yeah, I mean, in the South you come to love air conditioning as you would a dear friend, so we don't go anywhere without it.
There's also Ben & Jerry's across the street that might have been
Starbucks,
frequented.
yeah. So anyway, that's pretty much all I've knit on this week. That's it. I've still got to finish the mystery shawl for SSK, and then I haven't touched my Caulfield sweater by Amy Herzog at all this week. So, but you did finish something awesome.
I did. I finished my Camp Lippy shawl.
Totally not what I was talking about, but okay.
Finished awesome things. Shut your face. And this is out of Skein Top Draw.
Ooh,
and
pretty.
I keep trying to make her touch my shawl and she wouldn't, and it is amazing. Like, it's a lot of 2x2 rib. Just a little bit. Like 11 inches.
Yeah.
Not that we're counting. But it's going to be very lightly blocked, and it's got an I-cord bind off.
Mm-hmm. I
did it as specified. It actually my version took more yarn, but I didn't gauge swatch, so we all know I'm a loose knitter.
You want to use as much of this as you can anyway.
So I think I had like 2 grams left over.
You can get me one of these. I would wear
know, it's so nice.
I would wear it.
You could buy me skein yarn, I'll knit it for you.
No, you wouldn't.
I would just forward the skein yarn. But it's going to be a nice, like, tuck around wear to work with like a t-shirt. Dress up a t-shirt. A little bit. Type thing. If I can wear jeans and a t-shirt to work, I'm happy.
It's really soft.
Yes, it's like cashmere.
Is it? What's the content?
I think it's merino nylon. I don't think there's any cashmere
Do you have the tag?
No.
Oh.
I don't know where the tag is. It might be over by your winding station.
Probably.
Because I never throw anything out. I just set it for you to find like little triplets later. Yeah. It's got an I-cord bind off, which was 2 episodes of Gilmore Girls today. And just really wasn't that bad. I finished it today. I started it last Sunday, so a week. And it's really been the only thing that I've worked on. And once it gets blocked, it'll be really pretty. I'm just going to take a quick picture because Camp Loopy pictures are due tomorrow.
Yep.
So tomorrow I'm going to make Kobe stand by the fence, and I'm going to make him get another friend, and they're going to hold each end, and then I'm going to take a picture, and we'll be set. But I love the little flecks. I keep moving it because it's so pretty. But I love the little flecks of color. This would be a great, like SSK or
mindless
knit
knitting.
group,
Yeah.
mindless knitting, because once you get the rhythm down, you're like, oh, you come to the center stitch and you're increasing every row, but only every other at this point, and you're like, oh, I just did a purl. There was a purl stitch already there. I need another purl, so I'll make it as a purl. Oh, there's a knit stitch there. I need another knit. I'll make it as a knit.
So do you know what you're doing for Camp Loopy?
Yes.
Second?
I bought a skein of Woolmiza.
So first, what are the requirements for the second Camp Loopy?
So the first Camp Loopy, let's do that, was like 380 yards of yarn that you've never worked with before. And while I'm a hoarder of the skein, I had never actually knit up a
But there was no pattern-specific requirement?
No, it was just like 380 yards, and I used like 420 of a yarn that you haven't worked with before. The second Camp Loopy is 500 yards, so 1 skein of Woolmiza will get 500 yards, of a pattern that you have not knit before that has over 1,000 queued or 1,000 projects.
Finished.
Finished, right. Yeah. Well, queued or finished, not combined. It's an and, not an and or.
Or not an
Yeah, no
ant.
more.
Anyway,
Boolean search
so you're
terms.
using Woolmizer. What's the color?
I don't know on the color. I ordered 2, and when I get home,
Oh, they're going to your house.
they went to my house already. I hope they're at my house.
Poor Wheezy, because while Laura's been here, the last of our SSK fiber, our SSK yarn, certain items for the goodie bag, certain things we'll be selling while we're there.
Things I ordered from the Loopy U.
All
because
arrived
I'm too
at his
lazy
house.
to switch my address.
And he's getting home today, and I told her that he's going to have a coronary when he walks in, because our neighbor's been taking the boxes inside. He's going to have a coronary. So, Weezy, if you're watching this, I hope you didn't, try to lift something and
Hopefully
popped
not.
a blood vessel or
They'll
something.
make Mom lift it.
Oh, he's going to kick your butt for that.
They'll do it together. It'll be a family activity. But
So-
what was it going? Skein yarn, gorgeous, wonderful.
No, Woolmizer
Woolmizer pattern. I'm going to do. So I've already knit Hitchhiker,
Mm-hmm.
and I've already knit Trillion. So I'm gonna do, what is it, Lentilla?
Lentilla,
That one with the ruffle at the bottom.
which is another Martin Bem.
It's just garter stitch with a ruffle at the bottom, and I feel like that is what I need. That's gonna be my SSK.
Yeah.
That and a pair of stripy socks, and I'll be lucky if I.
Although you did garter stitch last year and it didn't end well, right?
I messed it up and Timmy fixed it for me. Shh. My friend Seth Park Knitter, Timmy, I was knitting Piper's Journey last year.
And Timmy
I
has
dropped-
been a knitting machine. Have you
Yeah,
seen all the
she's-
sweaters she's been knitting? Holy crap.
She's been doing it also. And she's doing the baby version of
Yeah.
Antlers. I was knitting this one. Antler's done!
Yeah. So anyway, back to FOs.
So this is Antler. It does not have buttons sewn on it yet. Did I
Stand up.
mention? Did I mention that I broke buttons?
Yeah, I
Can't
think
see
you
anything
did.
but me. So there's the little top detail, the cable. So I had dropped my porcelain buttons and broke some, so I needed 5. We went to Joann's today and actually bought 6. I'm thinking about sticking another buttonhole up high.
Ooh.
Maybe. Although this fiber, so this is out of Mad Tosh Vintage in the Rainwater colorway.
Which is a super wash, right?
Yep, and it has grown.
Yeah, so she,
Quite a
before she blocked it, it was about the right size, lengthwise, and then she got it wet, and
and blocked it.
It almost grew to her knees.
It grew to my knees, and the sleeves were out to here, and I was like, "Oh no!"
So we threw it in the dryer.
Threw it in the dryer for 10 minutes, and it was dry, or it was slightly damp still. But that springed the superwash, and I like the sleeve length. I feel like the sleeve length is pretty much perfect now. They are, if I was to knit it again, things I would do differently. I would save my sleeve increases to later, so all your sleeve increases are knit right here.
Between the wrist and elbow.
And it's a little bit baggy down here. It fits okay up here. It's still a little bit baggy, which I like. I like a baggy sweater. But down here, I probably have 2 inches of extra fabric on each sleeve, and that might be part of the reason why I ran out.
Yeah, I mean, I
So-
think Amy had the same issue. She actually compared the sleeves. Amy Froggy Monkey of Knitting in Circles podcast, she knit the same sweater and in the same time frame, and she ripped out her sleeve because it was growing too quickly.
Yeah.
Like you just said yours was, and she did the increases more slowly.
So the cool thing about this sweater, just the construction note, is you knit the sleeves first, supposedly. I did that last. And then you knit the body, and then you join it. It's a yoke. So it's joined right here. Which I always tend to have one little hole
There's no holes in your underarm.
in my underarm when I do that. But anyway, I try to see them up when I Kitchener down here. So this is Kitchener. And then you knit the yoke all together with the sleeve.
So it's like the Elizabeth
yeah.
Zimmerman method.
It is. So everything's being worked. I would decrease, I feel like it's better today because I pulled it up a little bit more, but it's a little boat neck for me. I might do one more.
So you have to pull your hair back to really show that. You can't really see it.
So on the neck, it's a little bit I want it to be in line with my t-shirt
More
almost,
of a
like a
crew
crew
neck.
neck. And so it's almost like a boat neck, which is fine. And it's, it looks good. And I think with a V-neck, it'll look a little bit better. than my typical t-shirt and jeans that I wear everywhere. But that's about it. That's all I would change, is I might do this a little bit higher, maybe do some short rows in the back, maybe decrease a little bit more rapidly up here. But overall, great pattern, wonderfully written. I love the sizing on it. It goes from newborn all the way up to like 5X. It's one of the tin can knit patterns, and I got it for free when they did their December pattern
Christmas
gifting
thing.
thing. So can't complain about that at all. So it's a wonderful pattern, highly recommend it. And it's super cozy. It's gonna be like my cozy, maybe throw over the back of my office chair, keep it work. Because the color is gray, so it'll go with 90% of my wardrobe. Sammy's decided she likes me today.
Yeah, Kit Kat has come on up here. So yeah, it's pretty.
Thank you. My buttons I got were metal, so it'll be pretty too.
You have to show once you sew them on.
Yep. No, you are not getting on my sweater. You are the destroyer of clothing.
Sammy likes to knead a lot, and she's ripped a hole in several of Laura's jeans.
Gone through 3 pairs of jeans since I've been here. Like, I ripped a hole in one pair.
Are you
mommy?
So, yeah. And she almost never comes. She almost never wants to be around people.
No, she always wants to be around me.
She's solitary for the most part. I have 3 cats. I'm a crazy. Well, Michael is a crazy person because my rule was if I have to clean the cat litter box, we don't have cats. So he cleans the cat litter box. And now you know way too much about me. So spinning.
Spinning. You have spinning. I
I
want to see
do.
your spinning.
I have 2 things. So the first is I grabbed one of those samples from the craft shop we talked
you're
about.
Coming back to me.
Lucky Cat Craft. And you can find her on Etsy at luckycatcraft.etsy.com. And that's Kim. And I grabbed at random one of the blends, which is...
That's the cool blend. That was my favorite.
Well, there's a
the
lot of
blend.
them. This one's just slightly more cashmere. So it's 45% cashmere, 40% Muga silk, and 15% New Zealand possum. I asked her what was different about Muga silk, and it's the worm produces an off-white silk versus the pure white,
Hey,
most commonly seen. So I spun this on my supported spindles this morning and then plied it this afternoon, so it's a little
It hasn't.
underplied.
The twist hasn't been set though either.
Yeah, it's really fuzzy because cashmere is a short stapled fiber.
What was that noise, Sammy?
Oh,
Just like sneezed on me.
So anyway, I got 25 yards out of this little teeny tiny sample,
What are you doing?
and it looks like this. And it's beautiful and soft. And I think what I'll do is I'll spin up all these samples and then just do like a simple like garter stripe cowl or something.
Cool. Like a linen stitch cowl would
Yeah.
be really pretty.
So I really enjoyed it, and it's got to be difficult to blend all of those different fiber lengths, excuse you, together. But she did a really nice job of it. So I'm definitely going to have to get a larger than teeny tiny sample.
Someone said they had a pound in our group.
Really?
Yes. So jealous.
Wow.
It's lovely.
So I might try to do one every week or two just
That would
to
be a good Tour de Fleece.
play with it, you know?
Fun thing.
So I did that, and then
Here.
my only Tour de
Thank
Fleece like set goal in my mind was to finish the flip and loop bat that I've had on the wheel since probably the beginning of the year. Maybe longer. I think I actually moved with it on the wheel. And it was Smitten, which was 4.5 ounces of a loop bullseye bump bat.
And this was on your...
This is on my Matchless, which I have rekindled my love of the Matchless.
It's a great
I
wheel.
love it. And that's made by Shocked out in Colorado. And I finished it. And I decided to keep it as a single, primarily because I'm selfish and didn't want to lose all the yardage that I would lose in a Navajo ply. So this is what it looks like as a single. And
so let's talk about, for the non-spinners, what you mean by
So-
lose yardage in Navajo ply.
if you take, when you spin fiber from the to make yarn, you add twist to fiber. Once you
In
add
one
twist to
direction.
fiber, you've made yarn.
Yep.
It's stronger if you ply it, meaning combine it with another ply.
The opposite direction.
Correct. Almost every commercial yarn that you're going to buy is plied. There has been sort of a resurgence of the single ply.
Mini Mochi.
Madtosh Light. Some of the
Sunshine's got a
yeah.
single
There's
ply.
some DK and worsted versions of
Another
singles.
Crafty Girl has a single ply.
Yeah. And those are nice to work with. They're usually slightly felted on purpose to help give them a little bit of strength. And that's what I actually intend to do with this. So I went to this book by a lady named Sarah Anderson. We've talked about this briefly before. We'll do an actual review of it because it's a wonderful book. And it's by Sarah Anderson.
And by review it, we mean spin every single yarn in.
Yeah. We met Sarah at TNA, and she is about the cutest thing you could imagine.
Oh, I have a picture of all her samples on my iPad. You continue.
Okay.
I'll show.
So I went to her book, and she's got a whole chapter on standalone singles. So most of the time when you spin a yarn, you're going to ply it with another single to give it strength, and it also tends to be prettier if you ply it together with another one. So these are all the samples from the book.
So in her booth at TNNA, she shared a booth with a bunch of people who self-publish books.
The visionary authors.
Yep, and she brought every single one of her samples from the book, which was very, very cool.
It was cool to kind of look at each one of
And
them.
they're all tagged and very, very neat. Different techniques, very cool.
So she's got a whole chapter. Ooh, I think I just ripped that page. Shit. As for standalone singles. And I was reading through here while watching the Gilmore Girls. And she's got information about just everything you want to know about how can I make my single stand alone and not have to ply it and not worry about the structural integrity of the yarn or bias, because if you don't ply it with another yarn, it's still energized in one direction, so anything you knit is going to be biased in one direction. And if you plan for that in your knitting, it's perfectly fine. There's nothing necessarily wrong with it, but you need to be aware it's going to happen.
Like if you knit a circular object, like a hat with a bias, it kind of loses its bias because the bias is continually all the way around.
Right, but if you wanted to knit
just a stockinette, like
square,
it's
going to end up a parallelogram. I mean, it's, and she talks about, there's a picture in here of it. Let me show you. See, here. She talks about it a little bit there and how it's going to bias in one direction based on which direction you plot it in, or you spun it in.
It's energized.
So, and she's also got this whole little section on, what is it called? Sizing energized singles, which involves dipping it in this thickening agent, which I'm going to try at some point, but that's not what I'm going to try with this one. I'll do it as a sample. But anyway, she talks about auto wraps. She talks about doing it with thread. She goes through a ton of different things.
Club singles.
But what I'm going to do is I'm going to felt it lightly. So aside from other information in here, she says a good way to do it when washing most wool yarn, a cool rinse after a hot wash will felt the wool just a little bit, which is what I want. I don't want it felted so that it all sticks together, but I want it felted enough so that the single itself is strong but no longer severely biased.
And this will only work with non-superwash,
Right.
non-down type wools, because down wools typically don't felt a whole lot.
You need the scales to open up with the hot water, and then when you shock it with the cold, they immediately close. So, and if you've got superwash, then the scales on the yarn have been removed, or mostly removed.
So
they're not
there.
gonna felt. They're not
Hence
gonna grab.
the growing.
Yeah. So anyway, this is what it looks like in the skein. Isn't it pretty? I got
Very pretty.
872 yards out of 4.5 ounces. Now watch what happens when I unskein it.
I'm trying to make her wear it as hair, like a hair tie, and she won't do it.
Woo!
It's so fun though.
It's very energized, and it would be a pretty little hairdo. I mean, it's very fashionable. But so what I'll do is I'll put it in the hot water. I'm gonna see if there's a way that I can get like PVC maybe, and stretch it out and keep it stretched in the hot water. Not completely taut, but just a little bit, and see if that'll make it worse or better. Or I might just wait it. When I hang it to dry, I might wait it a little bit so that it doesn't, so that it de-energizes a little.
Now you will lose some of the twist in the water itself.
Right. But
And
that's
in the
quite a
felting.
lot.
Yeah, that is.
To
and you
assume.
did run back. You did run
Yes.
it back through.
So I applied it in the I spun it in the S direction, and then I ran it through in the Z direction very quickly. I could run it through again to take out a little bit more of the twist, but I'm concerned it was already breaking a couple times, which is easy with a single. You can felt it back together, but I don't know. I'm just going to experiment. I didn't want to lose so much of the yardage, and I think what I'll just do, if you do have the bias, the best way that Sarah talks about to sort of account for it is if you knit something that's got an even number of knits and purls, it's going to better balance it, so it's going to keep it from biasing.
Clara Parks talks about that in the Knitter's Book of Wool as well.
So I think I'll either do like a very simple garter stitch or seed stitch or something like that, because I don't need it to be anything super duper fancy because the gradient of the yarn is fancy enough. But yeah, so that's what I spun, and I did want to talk briefly about the thing I'm going to spin next, coming up on my wheel.
I'm so happy that you have spinning.
I'm very happy that I'm getting back into spinning, because this was my only concrete Tour de Fleece need to finish this, mainly because I was sick of seeing it on the wheel. So I think my goal for the rest of the tour will just be to try to spin every day, even if it's for 2 minutes, to try to spin every day. Because once I get back into it, I really love it, but it's that, setting up the pillows and getting all the stuff out of the way and bringing the wheel over and all the, it's just the prep for it, which sounds terrible. It takes 10 minutes, but for those of us who only grab 10 or 15 minutes a day sometimes. Anyway, so the next thing that I'm going to spin, I just got in the mail actually, and it's my final round 4 shipment of the Trifecta of Awesome yarn. This is fiber. You can do a yarn or a fiber option. And this is the, it was based on pop culture, I think. I can't remember because I'm a terrible person.
I think it was pop culture.
And yeah, because the other one was Luke's Coffee House or Luke's something.
From Gilmore Girls, which is what got us into Gilmore Girls, because Leslie had never seen it.
So thank you, Lisa Fibernymph. This is, and the other one was like,
was it a Star Wars one?
Fifth Element.
Oh, that's right.
Firefly. There was like 4 women, and that was Heather's. So this is Keegan Lane Yarns. This is Melissa and Sean, and the colorway is not Penny, so it's a Big Bang Theory reference. It's beautiful. Look at that. It's a lot of the mixed BFL that's got the natural sort of ecru plus the darker brown.
So it
BFL.
takes dye lovely.
Yeah, I really love the heathery, tweedy sort of look that you get with it. And so it's 100% mixed BFL from the UK. It's not going to be a super wash, which is fine, because I typically am not rough on my hand spun anyway. And it's super soft and nice and squishy.
That's lovely.
So this is going on my wheel, maybe tonight,
That'd be great.
because we can sit and watch Gilmore Girls.
We have like 1 episode left in
One or
season.
2 episodes left in this season. Because that can tell you how much we've watched, because I think last week we watched 3 episodes.
Hello, I knit a shawl.
Yeah, and you finished your sweater.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks Melissa, because this is beautiful. And I think the only club, because this was the last shipment of this club, the only club that I'm still in, and it's only because it's not over yet, and I've already paid for it all, was the Tempted Fiber Club. And I think I've got 1 or 2 shipments left of that. And then I'll be done with it.
Are you giving up clubs for 2014?
Unless I get into the habit of really spinning more, I'm going to have to. Because I've gotten out of the, gosh, it's so fun to buy cool, pretty new things, into the, dear God, I'm never going to get to this. Not because I don't want to, but because I don't have time.
Yep.
And I just think that, especially with a lot of clubs like the Keegan or the Trifecta of Awesome Club, where there's a waiting list and there are other people who want this and may have time to actually spin it, it's unfair for me to take spots from people who, might be able to get to it immediately, whereas I'm not getting to it immediately.
So if your name gets pulled for the Southern Cross Fibers Club.
I didn't put my name in.
Oh, you didn't?
Mm-mm. Or the Hello Yarn Lottery. I didn't do that either. Nope. Because I figure I have enough friends in it that if I really want a club colorway, I can just beg one off of somebody. Not you necessarily.
I was like, if I ever get into those clubs,
No.
you will not be getting any of mine.
But
We're not that good of friends.
going to hell. But no, it's just all that's fiber. Like, and that's not all of the fiber. It's ridiculous, and I have to stop.
Spent.
So anyway, we have book review, and I want
You just skipped my spinning.
Oh shit! Sorry, I talked for so long. I just assumed we were done with it.
You did like a mini technique talk.
I did. Sorry.
So what I've been spinning.
Sorry, I forgot. Because you were talking with me, so.
For Tour de Fleece on Saturday, I started some Southern Cross Fiber in the Natural Beauty colorway on Organic Merino. So it looks like that. And this is what I have left.
So, and you are on 2 teams. You're
I
on
am.
Southern Cross and Into the World. I am on no teams, and we do not have a Knit Girls team, just because neither of us has the time to moderate one.
Because SSK's in like 2 weeks.
So we were thinking about opening a thread just for you to show your pretty stuff.
Because we like seeing, like, that's what I love about Tour de Fleece, is it really gets my spinning mojo going.
Yeah, I was
because I see all the pretties.
laying in bed last night, and Laura's in the kitchen on the other side of the wall, and I'm sitting there playing a Candy Crush, thanks Melissa, and she's over there going, ooh, oh, ooh, ooh.
And I really feel like the Southern Cross Fibers group, which is also a combo with Spunky Eclectic and Hello Yarns, so I can spin any of those 3, so I'm going to go through my stash a little bit, is just very inspirational. So this is the first bobbin, and I'm spinning it on my Hanson using the lace flyer, but I'm spinning it thicker. I'm spinning it to like a DK weight on purpose.
Well, DK implied, probably.
Yeah. So that's what that looks like. And it is going to be gorgeous. I've hoarded this fiber since I got it in a D-stash. It was a club from 2010. And it's just...
What's the colorway?
So pretty. Natural Beauty.
Okay. Did you say it already? I'm sorry.
I don't know. And it's on Organic Merino. I think I did.
He does have a lovely organic merino base. I have say sweater's worth. I have 2 pounds of one color of a solidish blue.
See, I don't have that much of any of his stuff, but it's really
I
pretty.
did a little sample spin and some math, which was probably wrong, and I didn't think I would have enough. And I know a lot of y'all are like, God, 2 pounds and you wouldn't have enough, but I'm a big girl, and I just am not confident enough. Maybe next year I will do a hand spun
That'd be pretty.
sweater.
So I have that, and then I have a loop bat that I'm in the last ounce of
It's
on
like
the
a
wheel.
saltwater taffy color, right? What is the colorway? It's like blues and greens, and there was a real light teal.
I can't remember. I'll show it to y'all next week
Is
when
it
I finish
on
it.
last week's show?
No, it's not on any show notes.
Okay. Also, Laura's failed at show notes lately.
Yeah, it's summer. They're not going to get done. When I do show notes, typically, this is horrible to say, is I do them at work in between kids coming to like the checkout. So like I'll be like, oh, I can type that. We did in Google Plus now that we record remotely, which is fabulous. And
But while we're here, this is how we do it.
and I have to type everything out, and I'm being lazy. But there was show notes. Not last week, but the week before.
So basically, if you don't see show notes on the episode, please feel free to come in the RAV group and ask any specific questions. You're not going to offend us.
Typically, we'll answer that.
Yeah, and if we don't, somebody else in the group will get to it before us sometimes and say, oh, they were talking about this, which thank you, by the way.
But that's it. I just love Tour de Fleece. It's and this is the first Tour de Fleece ever that I've participated in 4 years, where I will have a wheel
Every day.
every day. Even when I'm driving back to Mississippi, I have my mini spinner that I can bring into the hotel room and spin for an hour or 2. So I'm very excited about that.
I would like to see, and maybe I'm totally, talking out of my butt here, but since we're going to be at SSK during the tour, and I think Saturday night is the last night of the tour, I would like to get a picture of everybody spinning, and post it somewhere, look at all these spinners in the tour or something.
That'd be fun.
We'll see. I'd like to. If somebody wants to, take over, handling that, PM me and we'll figure something out.
That'd be cool.
Also, I got my RAF PMs from 79 down to 10.
That's pretty awesome.
I'm a grown up and I was taking care of things.
If mine get over 10, I have a little bit of a panic attack, and it might take me things that I have to think about Like if you ask me favorite books or something, it might take me a couple days, or if I have to think about stuff, but typically I'm pretty much on
See, I'm
ball.
like, sometimes I don't get to Rav at all during the day, and so it may be 2 weeks before I get back to you sometimes, and I'm really sorry. And I actually edited my front page of my profile to say, look, I'm sorry, I try. But like Laura gets her PMs sent to her email, but to me, then you have to deal with it
Yes.
twice. Like then you have to look at it in your email, and then you have to go and look
Well,
at
that's
it.
the problem. I'll read it in
PM.
email and I'll start thinking about it, and then I won't, I'll forget to go over to Ravelry
Like-
and answer.
Having it stare at me from 2 places would just, oh God, my head's getting itchy thinking about it.
I like it being sent to my email. That way, if I have a question that you have to help answer, I can just forward it to you.
Yeah, I do get forwards sometimes for her to be like, did we say we'd do this or whatever? So
What do you
anyway,
think about this idea? Yeah.
I wanted to thank Marion, who's coming to SSK. Marion won on Ravelry.
She's wonderful.
She is probably one of the sweetest people I know, and she's actually rooming with another of the sweetest people I know, and that's Seashore Share, and they requested each other again
That's sweet.
this year, and they're both just really nice people. And Marion pointed me to, actually she gifted me
And she gifted me as well.
the Knit Together book, and it is a book that was put together. It's $20. You get 20 patterns, and 100% of the proceeds go to support the Oklahoma disaster relief from the tornadoes. For those of you outside the U.S., there were some very, very serious tornadoes that killed many people and did millions of dollars in damage. And all the proceeds of this go to help a food pantry and other charities in the Oklahoma City area.
It's the Other Options Inc. is the name of charity, of the charity. Speak
So-
English. So all these, there's 20 patterns in here. And
Visual index.
Visual index, which we love. And when you click on one of the pictures of the visual index, it does take you to that pattern.
Yep.
The first one we want to talk about is the Watching Hawks socks, which is really, ooh, what just
You
happened?
broke it.
Oh, I did. Like, not even a little, like a lot.
You went to a whole nother book.
I went to Antler. Anyway, gorgeous slip stitch pattern that uses, looks like it's slip stitch. Oh, it might be a liar.
There's slips and there's cables.
Okay.
Because I looked at the charts.
And it uses Prism. There's a little bio on every single designer in here and their feelings or a connection to Oklahoma, which is really, really sweet. And a little quote typically as well. Great charts.
Yeah, the
Let me
charts are
blow.
huge.
Yeah, like,
Well, don't blow it up. Show it real size. We'll
Yeah, I
just
don't
show you
wanna
real
show.
quick. But so they're really nice big charts.
yeah, that's, you're missing part of it, so you won't be able to just do it off of there. The second sock is the Tipsy Turvy socks, which look like those. They're very, very cool.
And they're knit by a man.
Rob-
They're designed by a man.
Black
Rob-
Dog on Ravelry.
Matiska.
And that's another cool thing. All the designers' Ravelry names are on here, but also their email. So if you have to contact them with a question, very easy. And in fact, you can actually click on their email, and on my iPad, it brings up their email. So you can just click on their name, and there it is. That uses Madtosh sock in the Great Seth Babes colorway. Some of the yarn for this was donated by the Village Knitter in Babylon, New York. So I think that's a really great testament to an LYS to donate the yarn for the designers to design out of. I think that's very, very sweet. And,
And
very
also
cool.
for the editors and the layout folks who put all this together and are taking no profits for themselves. I think that is, they deserve
Definitely.
thanks as well.
There's the Green Gable socks, which are cabled.
Yeah, they're really pretty. I like those a lot.
I like this, the solid, and the author of those is actually in the UK, so it's not just a US based thing. There's people from all across the world. I could actually
you're
use
not
the
using
bookmarks.
the bookmarks that we did. We went through, and we're not showing you every single pattern because you can buy the book.
Okay.
But there are some really lovely ones.
I really like this cowl. It's the split rail fence cowl. I can see it being gorgeous out of some hand spun.
It's very simple, but enough to keep you interested.
And that was knit out of 375 yards of a DK weight.
And that was designed by the lady who heads up Willy Wonka Fibers, which is cool.
For sure. And then, let me make sure, okay. We did bookmark that one twice. We had a whole discussion earlier. There's the cornerstone hat, which I really love because it's the ball band dishcloth pattern on a hat. It looks very cool.
Yeah, I think it's nice enough. It could be a man pattern as well.
And then when you look at the top,
looks like yellow brick road almost. Like it's very interesting.
Very cool. So there's that lovely bit of coolness. There is the lacy leaf slouch hat.
Yep.
So if you're more into a beret style hat, you have that. And that uses, come on.
Your iPad refuses to cooperate.
It's being mean today. A skein of Barocco Comfort. So very affordable. Would be a great like cancer cap.
Yeah, it would be.
Or donation. Then I love these little mitts. And they are called the, I don't know because I can't scroll.
Malaga Cove fingerless mitts.
Those use 125 yards of a worsted weight, so very, very little, and that's by Steph Cat on Ravelry. And then, I love this vest. It's the Pocketses.
And that's actually how it's spelled, Pocketses.
It's a Hobbit reference.
Yep.
Very cute vest. I think this might have to be in the future for me.
So it's sized from a 29-inch chest all the way up to a 49-inch chest.
And it uses Patton's classic wool, so very affordable. Love this shawl.
We actually thought our friend Steven might really like this.
This is the 5/8 shawl.
And it is designed by a gentleman named Ray. His Ravelry name is Nativity. I actually know him. I know of him through the LSG group. He dyes his own yarn, some really nice colors. Ray Whiting is his name.
And the other thing that we haven't said yet is every single one of the designers is wearing what they designed. So that's very, very neat to me. And he talks about his own experiences with Katrina and natural disasters. And also, he's got a great little centerline decrease little tutorial in there as well. Then there's the Targety shawl, which I am in love with, and I might have to make out of some skein.
It's amazing what really nice photography can do for any pattern. But that is a really classic, clean pattern that would fit a man or a woman.
And it actually calls for hedgehog fibers, which the loopy you just started carrying, and so did Fiber Space.
Oh, did they? I didn't know that.
Yep, in the concrete colorway. So one skein of sock yarn, cute little shawlette, perfect for everyday life. Then there's another cute little shawl, which is knit sideways.
And it's by Karina Ferguson, Picnic Knits.
Is the Ordway shawl. So I could, like that out of hand spun or maybe even a semi-solid. I would love to see that. I'm very, very excited about that one. The charts are awesome. There are some owls.
Yeah, there's a couple of toy patterns in there with some neat Fair Isle on them, which I think is a great way to introduce you to Fair Isle, honestly.
Or chart reading.
That's true. Because it's real, I mean, if you mess it up, who cares? It's a toy. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yep.
So, so we were looking at this, and we're like, it doesn't even matter what you're selling. You could be selling plutonium.
And we'd be like, squall!
You know, like, it's so, you can sell us anything.
It's a baby cocoon, and it's super cute.
Another pattern designed by a man.
Yep. SPR Boston. So lots of diversity just in general of the pattern designers, people from across the world.
Yep. All
girls,
ages.
guys, yep, tons of different ages, just a nice variety. And I want to show you the
baby picture.
Yeah. Because hello.
Looks like a little worm.
Such a little worm. I love the idea, like just baby cocoons for photography because they all look like little
honestly,
worms.
babies enjoy being swaddled and feeling like snuggled. I almost want to say smother, but not smothered. Swaddled. There we go. Swaddled is the word I was looking for. So it might have a practical use. I didn't have those when my son was an infant, but if I were to have another child, which I would probably have use for those.
So that's it. So thank you so much, Marianne, for drawing our attention to this book.
And it's for a wonderful cause.
Yeah,
so,
and there's wonderful patterns in it. So,
so on your next random act of kindness day, please consider giving this to someone or purchasing it for yourself. And
Very
thank
cool.
you to the people who put it together. It is a very selfless thing to do for people you don't even know.
Yep, for sure. We have Tour de Fleece, which we've already kind of talked about, and we're going to start a thread just so that y'all can post in the group and we can see and be inspired by what y'all are working on.
And you have a chance to brag, because who doesn't love to brag and say, look at this beautiful thing I created?
Yep. We went to Lucy the Elephant this week.
So for those of you who don't live in this little bubble, Lucy the Elephant is the only remaining elephant-shaped building in the United States of America.
There were
possibly
3
the
at
world.
one point.
There were 3. There was another one on the South Jersey coast, and then there was one up in Coney Island, which was actually twice as large as Lucy. So it was 12
She's
stories.
6 stories tall.
And it was called Elephant Colossus. We went and watched a video and everything.
She's 90 tons.
Yes.
But, so it was really, so this guy, this real estate mogul in the Atlantic City area back in the 1880s, like long time ago,
He has a really weird name. I can't remember what it was. But anyhow,
decided that he was going to
he
make
wanted
an
to-
elephant.
he sold real estate. And in order to bring people as a gimmick, to bring them to the area, he commissioned and patented elephant-shaped buildings.
So you couldn't just build an elephant-shaped building. You
Without
had
his
to,
permission.
Yeah, you had to get this guy's permission.
Yeah, and he's now dead. So, anyhow, what he would do is, once this was built, he would bring his prospective clients to the top, because on top of Lucy there is I don't remember what they called it, but it was like a tent sort of
Yeah,
thing.
like an Indian.
I'm sorry, I don't remember the name. But anyhow, he would take them up there and he would point and say, that property is for sale, because you can see for
like 60 miles.
in any direct, the ocean isn't going to do you any good, obviously, but, and she looks out at the ocean, actually.
You can look through her eyes and see the ocean.
Yep.
Or just on the top.
It was a really neat, touristy, kitschy thing to do.
It was very fun.
If you are concerned about spiral staircases or small spaces, Lucy is not for you, because you actually climb up her legs in a very tight spiral.
And at one point there was a tavern in here. She was a residence for a summer for someone.
Yes, and they actually still have the bathtub that was used in 1902, and it's
Yeah.
like this long. It is so tiny.
It's very small.
It's very cool to do random kitschy tourist things. And it was a nice thing to do to pass the Saturday. Sue's our friend.
It was lots of fun.
Went with us. So Laura purchased a shirt that you'll see at SSK if you're going.
It's lots of fun. I'll wear it on the podcast, I'm sure. Because when do I not wear a t-shirt on the
The best
podcast?
part of Lucy, so you can see it a little bit on here, is there are windows in her flank, in her side. And her eyes are windows as well, to where you can see outside. But there's also a window on her rear end. So when you pull up, you're actually looking at her tail. I wonder if I have a photo on my phone. Let me look. And
I got Jess a postcard of her butt.
yeah, it's funny, but I kind of feel a little sorry for her. I feel like her privacy is being invaded just a little bit. Yeah, so I did get a picture. So, let me see if I can...
Did you take that picture or did I take
Somebody
that picture?
did. I don't know. It got sent to me. So if you can see, Lucy's butt is a window. Welcome to New Jersey.
She's very cute. And she actually got moved 2 blocks.
Yes.
In like the 1960s.
Yeah,
So.
actually I think it was earlier. I think it might have been the 20s or something like that. But yeah, they had to move her several blocks because she's now a National Historic Landmark. And they had to put her on state land, which where she was not state land.
They had sold it to build condominiums.
Yes. So I don't even want to know how, but they moved her 2 blocks.
Yep.
We talked about Lucy for a while.
She's very cool.
She is fascinating. She's an elephant-shaped building. I have been inside of an elephant. So anyhow.
She's fun. We have a giveaway contest. So Laura of Inspirational Dye Works.
Inspiration Dye Works.
Oh, yes. Sorry. I'm adding L's to everything today.
Everything's better with an L.
Is going to dye a custom colorway for one of you. So There were lots of entries, 11 pages of entries. Let me see exactly how many so I can give Leslie the number.
Pull up the random number generator.
So 2 through 270. I'm so glad y'all like her yarn. I hope you bought some or will buy some because it is awesome.
All right, 2 through 270 you said?
Yep.
All right, 2 through 270. Oh, 70. Done. All right, have not pushed the button. Will push the button. Generate. Even 100.
Oh, cool.
Be
so
on
that's page 4.
4.
All the way at the bottom.
Yep.
It is Gaily Whaley.
Gaily Whaley. Yep.
Yep. And it says, thanks so much, Laura. Your yarns are beautiful. Not me, the other Laura.
Oh, okay.
My favorite color currently on the site is the dolphin stripe. It's lovely. I love the dolphin. You have no idea how many times I've added that to my cart and unadded it and added it. Because really, I don't need more self-striping yarn, but it's so pretty.
So congratulations, Gaily Whaley. Contact Laura. This Laura.
Yep.
Laura.
And I'll put you in touch with the Laura of Inspiration.works.
Yep.
So thank you, Laura, and everyone for participating. This coming week, we have another contest, and it is for one of these lovely needle cases. So our good friend
Marina Elena Bliss.
Yep.
Marina something Bliss.
Yep.
Marina
Elena Bliss.
Okay.
She is there, and she is a wonderful person. She's very kind to my sister-in-law, who just got started knitting like last year.
Emily, yeah.
And Emily has bought a ton of her bags. And Emily actually was the person who kind of said, you should design a needle case.
Oh, cool.
So this is kind of like my sister-in-law gave the inspiration, some of the ideas
Cool.
towards this needle case. So these are 2 of her bags that she currently sells.
Yep.
I use this one to store needles
This one's got a
in.
cute little like wrist strap. You could definitely put the yarn through here and carry it and knit with it. But actually might use it as a fiber like bag.
That'd be cute. Like a spindle bag
Yeah.
would probably work well if you had a shorter spindle, for sure.
Like a
one of
Turkish,
my
yeah.
Turkish. And then this one I just shove my needles before I put them away in their nice little home. They just get shoved in here.
They're really nicely made, quilted.
Oh, they're quilted and padded and lovely stuff. And we actually gave away one of her bags around Christmas time.
She does the piping really well. I can't even tell where she joined it.
She's got nice bags. And
her little special tags. I like those. It's got her name, the name of her shop on them.
So she's giving one of the needle cases. It looks like this in the Smittens colorway, which is that right there. And the inside...
She put a Neelix stitch marker on mine.
Oh, really?
It has a bone.
Looks like that. And I totally forgot what comment we were gonna, what prompts we were gonna use, because I'm a horrible person.
Well, we have a few things going on.
We do.
Also, I've left the hair down as long as I can.
I left mine over there. So there's these 2 wonderful pictures. There's actually 3, so there's another picture of the inside. I love her tree fabric. That's not the one that you'll get, but that's available on her site. So I'm just gonna look up the prompt and tell y'all what it is in the thread. I'm gonna post the pictures in the thread so you can see that, because I've lost my mind. And that's all there is to it.
Yeah.
But I will tell you. Yeah.
We've been doing a lot of SSK prep, so.
Yeah, we have. Invoices for SSK went out.
Yes.
All 150 of them.
So if you requested a t-shirt, extra yarn or fiber, extra classes, you have been billed. If you have not, please contact me or Laura.
And if you have an issue, just if you would include the invoice number in there, that saves me a lot of trouble, because I've been searching the invoices and I've gone a little bit crazy doing this. So it's a lot of staring at email addresses.
If we haven't met you before and you come and introduce yourself at SSK, we'll be like, oh yeah, you're rooming with so-and-so, you requested it, you know. Because we've gone over it so many times in our head.
I just, like, in my perfect world, everyone's Rav name and their email is the same, and that makes it so much easier, but that's not how the world works.
That's how 10% of people are, which, you know, that's fine.
That's not how my world works, so, but, Felix just did a dive into the camera.
Hi, baby. Hi.
He's very excited.
Oh, yes. Hi.
So you had something, we have a TNNA thing that we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Craftsy real fast.
Yes.
And then you have something to show from Stephen at Dramatic Knits.
Oh, I didn't bring it. I just want to
Okay.
talk about it. So yes, our friend Stephen of Dramatic Knits, he and oh gosh, Neelix.
Callie.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No, he looked at my face. Yes, he and Callie have a video podcast, Dramatic Knits, and he is very kind. He's not coming to SSK this year because he has silly things to do, like buying a house and moving.
Being responsible adult. Come on.
Anyway, and I wish Callie would come at some point too. I'm not trying to exclude
I met her at Stitches last year. She's super sweet.
I haven't got to meet her yet, but
You should
anyhow.
come to Stitches this year.
Stephen was very kind and knitted a My Hope, a beaded cast off and everything, and he's donating it for an SSK prize. So thank you very much, Stephen, and you can have a chance to win, if you're going to SSK, you have a chance to win a hand-knitted item by Stephen of Dramatic Knits.
It's very cool.
We also wanted to talk, Ron Corral the dog, would you like to talk
Yeah,
about
okay. So Leslie and I got separated at the sample it, but
Always
we
a bad thing.
both managed to buy the same kit in the same color. And I really blame Karina for this.
Yeah, Karina Ferguson Picnic Knits, who was also on Market Day. She was in the booth with Stitch Sprouts.
So Stitch Sprouts
So this beautiful pattern.
had this awesome kit, and it uses Ba yarn, and Leslie and I have never used Ba yarn before.
Honestly, I'd never heard of it until TNA. But now I've
So-
seen it like 3 times.
This is one of the goodies that we each picked up, and this is in the Emerald Isle colorway.
Yep.
So that will be a lovely bit of gorgeousness, and Karina always has gorgeous patterns, and this is no exception. to
I
that.
really like how it's this beautiful
It's
solid
tonal.
green, but it's got these hints of the darker sections. So it'll still show off a stitch pattern beautifully, and this is actually quite large because of all the open work. So you really get your bang for your buck on this.
It's very pretty. What's the yardage on that?
400 and something. Well, 400 even. This is the Lajala
100% superwash merino.
in the Emerald Isle colorway. And that's
Pretty.
from Buy Yarns. There's no website listed. But
We'll link it
Buy Yarns.
when someone does show notes. Or you can ask us if you're that
Yes.
interested.
Or you can just Google search Buy Yarns.
Yep.
Yeah, we also wanted to talk about Craftsy. So many of you guys have heard us talk about Craftsy before.
Yep. I actually watched a Craftsy class this week when I was spinning for Tour de Fleece. I watched the Felicia Lowe has a color blending one, and I'm totally using some of the techniques from that in some of my spinning in the future, maybe for Tour de Fleece.
So, but she has you blending it actually at the point that you're spinning it, which is
Well,
a
she
really
does
cool
different
concept.
things, but yeah, it's all about color, which is very neat, and it's very applicable to people who knit as well because it's about color theory.
And so at TNA, we got to speak with some of the wonderful ladies at Craftsy.
Yep.
And we chatted with Amy Detchen, Stephanie Chappelle,
There was a lovely other young lady there, and I can't remember her name.
tiny and adorable. I can't remember her name. But anyhow, we talked to these folks there, and we decided we were going to become a Craftsy affiliate. So basically what that means is on our website, TheKnitGirlls with 3Ls.com,
Yep.
Underneath our single ad space, there is now a Craftsy logo. For anybody that doesn't know, Craftsy is a video tutorial site. They do all
They do
kinds of
classes.
crafting, and you can take these classes as often as you like. You can repeat as sections as
They
often
have
as
free
you like.
classes too.
You can ask the teacher of the class questions
Yep.
as you like anytime. And you get the access forever. So once you've purchased a
Yep.
class, it's there forever, and you can watch it.
I have
anytime.
crazy things like artisan bread making.
Yeah,
because
they-
obviously I need to make
They've
some
expanded
artisan
into
bread.
cooking classes, which is a
So
really
they have
cool thing.
cooking and sewing, weaving,
Mm-hmm.
knitting, spinning, and they just started visual arts. So drawing
Yes,
and
like
watercolor
fine
and
art.
stuff like
Mhm.
that. So very neat.
So what we did is we became a Craftsy affiliate, and that means that if you go to our site and you click on the Craftsy logo there, it'll still take you to Craftsy. You can purchase any classes that you like, and we get a tiny itty bitty percentage back. But
So we can buy more Craftsy classes.
really, honestly, but primarily we just wanted another way for people to be able to get to Craftsy. Because it's a wonderful site run by really, really great people.
It is, and it also lets them know that our viewers are coming
Mm-hmm.
from us, which gets us out there a little bit more too.
Yeah, so if you're considering taking a Craftsy class, please consider clicking the link through our website. It helps them know that you got to them through us. So anyhow, we just wanted to throw that out there.
Commercial over.
we try not to over monetize or like over market or, you know, sell a bunch of products or anything, but we do want to get the quality products to people.
Yep.
And I feel like Craftsy is one of those quality
Craftsy is
products.
lots of fun. I know I have like 30 classes.
I can tell you, I've probably purchased 12 or 14. I've watched part of 2.
Really?
Only, not because they're not good, but because like I'm like, ooh, that'd be a good idea when I have unlimited time and blah, 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 blah. Click, purchase.
I've watched at least 5 minutes of every single one of my, even like the artisan bread one. I'm like, ooh, you know, I might use this tomorrow, and so I'll watch a little bit. No, I'm not. But it was a good idea.
But
They have freebies, like
They
I said
do.
earlier. Ann Hansen's got Kitchenerine, a grafting one. Carol Feller has a wonderful one about short rows. And the lady Deb Robson, who did Fleece to Fiber Source book, she's got a wonderful one about
Yeah.
it. I've watched all the free ones all the way through. It's the ones that I pay for that I really need
which
to.
is ridiculous, right? But,
Yeah.
Anyhow, so I think we're over an hour at this point, which is ridiculous.
We're always ridiculous.
Is there anything else we wanted to talk about? Oh,
Stash Dash is going on.
yes.
Stash Dash is tons of fun. This put me 1,500 yards more, because I had to buy more, towards
Yeah.
my end goal of 4K. So I'm at around 2,500, I think. Maybe a little bit more
I
than
need
that.
to put mine up. I haven't. I also wanted to say this is the last time this summer that we'll be recording together.
Yep.
Because Laura has to go home and do stuff.
I have to get some work done for work.
She has to go ahead and start Tetrising her car together with stuff for SSK.
That's true, too. But I need to get my book talks started, because I've been a slacker about reading the YA this summer.
You read like 3 books a day.
I know, but not YA.
Oh.
Not things that I'm supposed to be reading. Vampire, werewolf stuff.
Yeah. But we'll continue to do the digital stuff long distance until we figure something
We're
better
gonna
out.
record at SSK together.
Please, we're going to have time to record. Were you there
It'll be
last
like
year?
2 a.m. and we'll be like,
Yeah. We're not going to be riding in the back of any police cars this year, so
I don't know if we ever told that story.
that's a story for another time. Y'all remind us and we'll tell that story.
Now I'm turning bright red.
But anyhow, we hope you guys have a wonderful week and a wonderful 4th of July if you celebrate that in the United States.
Yep.
And until
Don't catch anything on fire.
yes, if it's legal for you to do fireworks, please do it responsibly. As Smokey the Bear says, if it's too hot to touch, it's too hot to leave. Yes. So have a wonderful week. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.